Hey everybody, TK here, tkanddrinks, back at it again. Got another What's the Story interview going on. Today we are interviewing up with my man Tony from Muzen Kab Meadery out of Mexico. I'm sure he's going to school me on how to properly say his name, as I awkwardly pronounce everything that's out of my native language of broken English. So there's always that. But I'm definitely excited to talk to Tony because he has been a huge fan of mine, follower of mine, friend of mine now since pretty much the beginning of the whole tkanddrinks thing. He's been shows up on my live videos and always has something to say. Always putting in comment and feedback and leaving comments on pictures and stuff. Always interacting with with me and my channel and the group and everything. So it's very cool that he's involved with that process. And I want to talk to him more. And the cool thing about that is that he homebrews as well. So he's got a ton of knowledge about that. He has his own homebrew meadery thing going on down there and always has cool, unique flavors going on. And definitely talk to him about some of those flavor profiles he does and whatnot. So he should be joining us here any minute. Hey, there we go.
Hey, bud.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, equally as well. Actually, it's worked a lot better than the guys that were 100 miles away. This is those guys are all choppy and videos all screwed up and whatnot. So
yeah, I had to wear my headset because my computer, I splurged on the processing power rather than like audio and microphone, so I had to use my headset. It goes a long way.
I'm still rocking Sound Blaster from like Creative from 1997.
For sure. That's funny.
Where did I put my questions? All right, cool. So thank you very much for doing this, man. I really appreciate it. I told my wife today I'm super nervous about this one more than any of the other ones because like you're always been so cool and I consider you like a new mead friend that I've made, and it's like kind of like an honor to do something like this for me.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Actually, I'm pretty honored that you asked me to do this. I think I'm like literally the only home brewer that I know that you've done this with, so it means a lot. And I can relate actually to what you're going through because you're so, as you mentioned before, pretty new to the mead scene, if you will.
Yeah.
So am I. So it helps out going through something like this with somebody that's doing the same thing. And the BJCP thing too. So the bond,
Yes, I feel it as well, my man. It's nice to, like you said, have somebody to bond with and like you said, that feels your struggles and your pains, so to speak. Although
Yeah.
you do have a hand up over me is where you're, like you said, a home brewer. So you get all this experience of working with the different honey varieties and tasting. I guess I can sample honey varieties as well, but you get the advantage of tasting them, post fermentation. So when you're going into these blind taste tests, you have a little more tongue memory, flavor memory of what's going on there.
Yeah, I guess that's true. You're right, but at the same time, you have an advantage over me too because mead here is not readily available like it is in the States. So you have a big variety. I mean, I kept track of when you were going up north and West Coast and stuff, and that's pretty damn cool. We don't have that many people like that here, and the ones that I have tried, they're not sparkling, or they're mostly sparkling, but they're not like still or anything, which is what I like. I like still meads.
Gotcha.
So, hats off to you. Well, it's on, but it's on.
I got you, man. Well, so to anybody who is unaware, this is Tony. He runs. Now, will you please tell me how to say the name of your meadery correctly? Is it Muzen Kab?
It's Muzen Kab. It's
okay.
There's a bunch of different Mayan gods, and this one in particular is the god of bees and honey.
Ooh, okay.
Muzen Kab is the name of the god, and Muzen Kab is the his worker bees, like regular bees, as opposed to like the queen and then regular bees, the worker bees, more or less the same deal. And I got the idea from speaking to this dude online, and I'm like, I had to explain what it was. And I'm like, well, that's a great name for a brewery or a meadery. So I'm like, that's what I used.
That's awesome. I love that. I love the like historical references. Now, is there a lot of historical reference to the Mayans brewing mead or making mead themselves?
Um, this is, I guess I'm reiterating what I've heard and some of what I've read as well.
Okay.
And yes, there is a mead. There is a mead in southern Mexico that dates for a long time that's called balche. And it's actually made out of a tree. So I guess it could be like a metheglin. And it's just that parts of the tree, mead, yeast, and obviously then wild yeast and honey and water. And that's the historical mead here in Mexico is balche. And in fact, actually, let me clear this up because I've seen too many people do this, and it annoys the hell out of me.
Okay.
In Latin America, and especially in Mexico, mead is, in Spanish, is hidromiel, Hidromiel, hidromiel. And even online, it says that in Spanish, mead is aguamiel, but it's not true. Aguamiel is the nectar that you harvest from an agave that you use to make pulque. It's a form of ancient fermentable drink that comes out of a flower that comes out of that particular type of agave, not the tequila agave, a different one.
Okay.
So it gets confused a lot with that when it's really not that at all. And I know that in Europe you call mead hydromel, but the hydromel's with Hydrome. Here it's different. So I had to clear it out because it bugs the hell out of me. And
Oh,
there you go.
I love it. No, I love the history lesson and everything. That's again, I understand it's what you've heard and everything, but still, I love the cultural reference and being able to draw everything back together. That's so freaking cool, man. So you said there's not a lot of meaderies down there available for you to try. Do you mean they're locally in your state, or do you mean like in your town, or just like in Mexico in general?
I I've there's a lot of people that make mead that sell it commercially, not nowhere near what you would have or see in the States, but there's not a whole lot of people that sell mead here in Guadalajara, which is where I am. There's a lot more big meat producers down south in Mexico City, namely, but here there's not too many. I think I can count probably a good 5, 6 people, which is within the city. If you go further out a little bit, there's a couple more, and um, I don't think of too many. If anything, not many of them, or at all, make still meads, which is what I like to drink. To me, a mead that's sparkling, even though I can enjoy it and appreciate it, it's more like for like beer related or what have you. I've come across very few meads, sparkling meads, that don't taste like a wine cooler, where it has like that sweetness and carbonated thing, and you just drink it, but it tastes a little fake. Like I can't stand that taste. Um, if it didn't have that, reminded me of that, I think it was a great sparkling mead. I recently tried actually one from these guys in like I think southwest of here, and it was delicious. I didn't get that taste at all. It was a traditional sparkling mead, and I think it was maybe 12, 13%. I don't remember, and it was dry, uh, very near turning into semi-sweet, like at 10-10, for example, the density, and it was pretty damn good. So.
Right on. Are you part of like a homebrew collective or like guild there locally or anything like that? Do you have like a group of people you meet up with and brew with or anything?
No, I hate social media. I think there's a lot of good things to it and a lot of bad things to it too. And in my experience, it's been a lot of bad things. But when I started fermenting, brewing, I couldn't really speak to my neighbor or even my girlfriend about it because they didn't know what the hell mead was. I had to explain it. And so I started posting stuff online and on Instagram mainly because I'm not anywhere else. But and I started talking to people. So I found that community of mead makers that I've been recently getting to know, and it's amazing. I think it's great. So we're actually trying to form an association, like a group, um, here in the state, which is, I think you've seen a couple of pictures I've posted, and that's where I've had a lot of those meats that the still sparkling meat that I was telling you about. Great. And I actually have one meat from one of those guys that makes meat that's it just blew my damn mind. I think it is delicious, man. Whenever you want to drink, I'll tell you and explain what it is. So.
Yeah. Oh, see, and that's why I'm dying to try some meats down there, even if it's not anything, you know, extravagant. I just want to try, just see what, you know, just everybody's producing from
Right.
different parts of the world. So you guys, you're trying to get something put together. You guys trying to form like an AMMA type of association, or something a little more like low key than that? Just trying to do like a
Well, exactly like that actually. It's and here it's called a gremio, which is like there's like associations like that for craft beer. And apparently what they do, from what it was explained to me, because it went in one ear and out the other, I was you're doing stuff. So, but as I know it, it actually is a group that will help regulate quality as well as prices and things like that in the very long future. The beer one, somebody mentioned that it took them quite a while for everything to fall through the way it's supposed to, a good 10, 15 years. So however long this is going to take, who knows? But right now, I'm enjoying that camaraderie that I have with these guys because I don't have to explain what the meat is anymore.
right.
I can just talk about it, and they're like paying attention and understanding what the hell I'm saying, and I think that's really cool. That's pretty damn cool. But yeah, it's for now. We're just getting together, planning stuff out, getting to know each other, and eventually, hopefully, that's what will come out of it.
And I hope that you guys you're all, I say I hope, but I'm sure you guys are all like in a similar type of situation. If, you know, meat is so scarce and so widely unavailable, you guys are probably all starting to be able to bounce ideas off each other and really start to grow your homebrew skills and everything like that.
Oh, for sure. And some of the guys in the group actually already commercialize meat, so they sell meat and things like that. And actually, don't get me wrong, there are a number of meat makers that sell commercially all over the country, not to the scale, like I said, of the States, but
Sure.
the thing about it, and I'm old school like that. Let me give you this example. I used to love going to record stores, sifting through CDs, cassettes, records, holding it, flipping that damn thing, reading the stuff, labels. Same thing with beer and meat. I like to do the exact same thing. I like to hold them, twist the damn bottle, read the labels, everything. So I hate ordering online alcohol, things like that. It took me a really long time to be able to download like something online for music. So I'm not going to be able to get like a drink or something like that online. I'm silly like that, I guess.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that do sell it, and I've been fortunate enough to have some decent ones here and not so decent ones. And I plan on going to down south a bit and trying some of the ones down south, especially in the capital in Mexico City. So um, I guess if you think about it, I'm not sure how long you've been into craft beer, for example, but to me, in my opinion, mead to the general public is like craft beer was in the States maybe in 2005 to like 2010. If you asked a Joe Schmo off the street what a craft beer was, they couldn't possibly tell you or tell you what their favorite one is or if they tried any. That's what mead is like here. You can't really ask a Schmo off the street um, what's their favorite mead and what do you like about it. You'd have to explain it. So which is it was a genuine, I guess you could say, godsend that I was able to find that group, and I don't have to do that anymore, explain it. But yeah, it was cool.
So how you said there's some guys that have been doing it commercially. How long have you been homebrewing?
Wow, not a whole lot to be honest with you. Maybe like a year and a half around there.
Okay,
Um, so I guess it's some time, but not like some of the other people that have been doing it for a decade or if not more.
gotcha.
Um, but I don't know. I think, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I think my meat is probably better than some of the ones that are commercialized that I've tried. So,
Gotcha.
um, you know, which is why I did the whole social media thing too, just to get to know more people and try more meads, because you can't really walk into a store or a liquor store like you would somewhere else and like ask for craft beer. You can't really ask for mead; they don't have it. So it's very select few that do.
Yeah,
So.
I do see you on the social media side. I mean, you follow all the big cat meadery. I mean, you follow a bunch of meaderies from all over the world. I see a bunch of meaderies that I'm kind of actually surprised follow my tkanddrinks Instagram stuff that are down in South America. Like there's some places in Brazil and Argentina and stuff. I was really surprised that they were even aware of a mead scene here in America. That's freaking blows my mind.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and yeah, I do follow a lot of meaderies all over. I guess to get inspired and to see what's going on too. These different flavors and things like that, and hopefully, eventually, sometime I'll get to try every single one. Who knows? But yeah, and yeah, these guys down south, they have a bunch of really good stuff too. It looks like. I follow a couple of ones in Colombia and
Yeah.
Peru and Chile that are pretty darn cool. There's some in all over really. There's Central America too. They're actually having a beer cup that accepts mead samples as well for a competition that's going on this month.
Nice.
Um, I was gonna send some, but box got damaged along the way, so who knows now? Damn FedEx, you know. So, oops, I don't know. Might have to bleep the FedEx away, but damn FedEx, you know.
All shipping, man, it doesn't matter. It I've had nightmare experiences with everybody, but that's cool that they have a beer cup going on down in Central America. Is there a beer cup that accepts mead? I'm assuming there's not any mead exclusive uh, tournaments or cups or anything
Um,
like that.
there is actually, I believe, there was one that was an international mead cup in, I think, Chile a year or two ago, before the pandemic, and I think that was one of the first ones, if not the first one. Likewise, there was one last year, one in Mexico. First year that was done during the pandemic, and it's a mead cup as well, strictly mead. And I think they should have that one sometime in October of this year again. And I'm going to send some meats just to see what happens. Honestly, I don't really care if I win anything. What I'm more interested in is the
Mead.
the score sheet that they give you back, so I can improve what I'm doing. Um, that's really what I go after more than anything. So I don't know. Hopefully it goes well in October. So, and actually, hopefully in October, if the BJCP approves it, we may have a date to do the in-person exam for the meat judging. Hopefully they do. One of the guys that runs the Mead Cup requested it, and at least 30 people want to take the meat exam, the tasting.
Yeah,
So we'll see.
man, that would be nice. Yeah, I've been radio silence on my end from the people I've been linked up with. I'm hoping that something happens soon. I mean, they said they're gonna, because my 1 year, the online certificates you get are good for 1 year, and that's
Mhm.
come and gone. They said, but because of COVID and everything, that they were going to honor that certificate for another year. So I'm
I remember you mentioning that too, and I asked that dude about it, and he's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. For the very same reason,
yeah,
they're going to be extending things, so it won't even matter. All right, that's what I thought was pretty cool, you know.
yeah,
And
definitely.
I know like traveling is kind of expensive and such, but I did see on the site that there's a meat exam in Minnesota and Pennsylvania. I think in November, December, or October or something like that, if you want to check that out.
Oh yeah,
But, you know,
yeah. I haven't looked on the site in I guess a couple months now since the last time I talked to them. But if they got one in Minnesota, man, that'd be nice. There's a bunch of stuff up there. Same with Pennsylvania. If you go out and visit,
yeah,
a bunch of stuff in
yeah,
the Northeast.
for sure.
Um, so since you've been brewing home brewing only a very short period of time, um, is there anybody like other YouTube people or anybody in the industry, professional mead makers here in the States or anywhere else around the world that you follow that you would say like inspires you or was one of the factors into you home brewing?
For sure. I don't know how the silliness of social media, this is what I was talking about. I don't know if it matters to anybody, but I enjoy a lot the three main ones from the US, the City Steading and Doing the Most and Man-Made Mead. Um, there was this other person in Spanish that does a lot of different things, but also does mead. I didn't totally appreciate how that was done. And unfortunately, part of the reason why I actually posted a video on Instagram on how to make mead in Spanish is because in Spanish it's lacking, or in I don't know, Latin America, there's a lot of, not so much technical, but information how to make mead in Spanish. There's like memes that say like I didn't know that when I had to when I wanted to brew or make mead I had to be bilingual because almost all the information is in English. So you know I follow those three guys. I watch them and really not just them but like as much information I can absorb, which is part of the reason when I follow so many meaderies as well. I'll intake. Um, I try not to limit and listen to just one person. I don't copy anything. I try to copy knowledge and experience.
Right.
So it would be a disservice to me and the meat that I make to only listen to one person. So I try to listen to everyone and understand what's going on with everything so I can improve what I'm doing. And hopefully people also do that.
Maybe that meetup group you guys could focus on something like that. Either translating videos that are, you think are worthy, or even better yet, just making your own. I mean, you got
Mhm.
that many home brewers and commercial brewers. Start your own uh, video series like that in Spanish and whatnot. That I think would be freaking amazing. And you help bring up again, like I always say, a high tide rises all ships, man. The more people that know what to do properly and everything like that, it's only going to make the quality of the products better.
I totally agree, 100%. And that's actually what I was thinking of, recording another video.
Yeah.
Um, I've never really used mesquite honey, and I bought a few buckets of it actually, and I was thinking of making a video where I do three different traditionals with it. So maybe hopefully soon I'll do it, and I'll post it on Instagram since that's the only place that I'm at, social media wise.
What do you mean by three traditionals? Like a dry, a semi-sweet, and a sweet?
No, more like how I would experiment with the mesquite honey. Only doing one with, for example, nothing but yeast, water, and the honey. Another one with some kind of nutrient or something to help the yeast out, and another one that would add acidity and nutrient and um, tannins to it, just to see what it would taste like, one each for all three of them.
Gotcha.
Um, so I can know basically how to make that and what is better for it at the end of the day, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of doing that and maybe just, I don't know, one of every kind of meat I can find, piments, melomels, bouchets, all of it on video so I can, in Spanish, so I can, people can see that. And frankly, I don't care if somebody gets butthurt about it. Some people do, but um, I just I fell in love with mead, and I want to immerse myself in mead as much as I can with everyone and everything. So I think the more, like you said, the more people know about it, even if it's silly videos like that, will go a long way for that. And they don't have to listen to me. I'm just showing you how I do it, so that if it helps you out, great. If not, oh well, doesn't matter. I'm doing what I like, you know.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think that's so rad of you guys to be able to do something like that and be like on the ground floor of some of mead culture in your area and everything. That's freaking rad.
Thank you. And yeah, I think it'll be fun to do that. And unfortunately, like I was saying, like I will look online for info in Spanish, and a lot of the times it's kind of like some dude in their mom's kitchen using bread yeast and stuff. So I'm like, we're lacking something. If
Right.
I can contribute a little bit to the culture of mead in some way, I'll be happy. And but yeah, again, it feels like I am in the ground floor, but at the same time, there's cats that have been doing this for a very long time here, for much longer, 10, 15, 16, 20 years. More power to them, but um, I'm dishing out what I like to do and how I do it. So,
Right on. So, in your year and a half that you've been homebrewing, what's your favorite mead that you've made so far?
You know what? I've made a lot. I think maybe 75 different types, and some of those multiple times. And probably because I guess it hits close to me is I did I call it a mole mead. I don't know if you know what mole is. It's well, okay.
Yeah.
It's I made a mole mead. I copied my mom's mole recipe. I just took out all the veggies, like the onion, tomato, um, the garlic, and usually mole they add either a piece of hard bread or like a hard tortilla to give it the texture and stuff. But so I omitted all of that and just added a bunch of different chilies and spices, things like that. And I hate capsicum else. I hate chili in my drinks.
Okay.
But that was a great meat. I thought it was great. And I haven't seen anyone around who was something like that, or so I thought that's probably my favorite one because it's got like that spiciness and the sweetness of the honey. Also, that you can taste the almonds and cinnamon, and I added cacao too, so that because mole is like chocolatey sometimes. So
Yeah.
I thought it was great, and but I don't really, beyond that one, they're all pretty good. I try not to limit myself on one thing.
Yeah.
I try to experience things, especially because I'm trying to train for that mead exam. I'm trying to drink as much of it as I can from all these different people, so I can expand that palate.
Definitely. Side question, real quick. How old is that mole recipe?
I have no idea, no clue. I'll be honest with you. My mom's old school, so she's been doing that for quite some time. And as years have passed by, she actually has gotten too old, so she doesn't make it a whole lot. So
Oh,
she cheats a little bit, so she uses that mole paste, but she still adds a lot of different spices and chilies to change the flavor more to her liking, because that thing's too sweet anyway, so she changes that. But she does a good job. She's a pretty good cook.
that's always one of my like dreams is coming down to Mexico and tasting everybody's abuela's different cooking styles and everything.
Yeah.
Oh man, it makes my heart sing to think about that.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I believe you. It's just different stuff, man. And that's the whole thing about meat too. Is like everybody's little grandma. They all have different styles of making meat, and it comes up differently because of the environment, what you're using, how you do it. So it, totally get it.
Now, I wonder if there's like being in different areas, they probably were subject to obviously wild yeast. So I wonder if there's some of those wild yeasts that are more inclined to grow in, the different climates throughout the country and everything like that.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I guess like yeast, when it's super cold, it's not too active. When it's warmer, it's a lot more active, and yeast is everywhere. It's in the air. So depending, I guess, where you live, whether it's cold, warm, or super hot, would determine that, you know. And that was actually part of what I had explained before with the what hydromiel is and hydromel and all that jazz is, because that aguamiel is that nectar from the agave that has wild yeast that ferments into alcoholic drink. And that's very indicative of Mexico. There's no other place around that has it. And that's actually what the Spaniards tasted when they came to the Americas, and they took it back to Europe. Well, it tastes like hydromel or hydromel. So that's the confusion right there between the two, why it's kind of like named oddly. But yeah, there's all kinds of wild stuff here, man. And obviously natural honey has yeast, wild yeast.
Yeah.
So, you know,
True.
mix it up.
What's your least favorite mead that you've made? Have you made anything that turned out just like jet fuel, or just had to be like, just had to go down the drain?
Uh, yeah, only one. There was this, well, not, I didn't throw this one away, but, and it wasn't even because it was bad. It was just my neuroses that just made me want to got pissed off and threw it away. But um, there was this one that I've made of prickly pear that had barely finished fermenting, and it was like jet fuel. It was gross. God damn it, it was gross. But I let it sit for a while. I split it in half and added different things to one, different things to the other one. And I think 6 months later, it tasted damn great. One I had added um, hops to it. The other one I added some other stuff, I think cacao, and it was a dry mead right on the border of converting into semi-sweet, which is how I like them. And it was great. That jet fuel was gone. You could just taste the prickly pear and what I added. But the one that I did throw away, which is super early on, it was hard to find brew stores here. I didn't know there were so many because we'll look online. I couldn't find them. I was looking from the wrong, searching with the wrong words, so it didn't come out with anything. But I used to use these jugs of water that are like 5-6 liters, and they're sanitized. So I'm like, hell, I'll use the water, I'll use a jug to ferment, and then I'll put that into a glass carboy or something. So because I was making multiple at a time from the get-go. I didn't just start with one. I said, screw it, I'm full board, so I made a bunch, you know. And I saw this one tea in this natural store downtown that had a bunch of different herbs in it. It had lavender, it had neem in it, it had rosemary, it had all kinds of stuff in it. So I'm like, damn, that sounds good. So I said, well, I'll make a mead out of it. So I boiled a bunch of it and I started fermenting it, and I put the airlock and stuff and everything. And because the mead, the warmth of the tea that wasn't completely cool or room temperature, it had a different pressure because of a temperature. So it was pushing a little bit of the sanitizing liquid from the air trap into the mead, the must, and that was driving me nuts. But every single time that would refill it, I would have to touch that water jug, which is not hard. It's a little pliable a little bit. So I would touch it and it would create like a vacuum. It would push in and then push out, and it would just make everything go in there. It happened like 4 different times. And on the 4th time, I was so pissed off by it that I just grabbed it and threw it away. What a dummy though, because that was, honey and a decent tea, and it just went down the drain. I regret it. And ever since then, I wish I was more patient in real life, but I've been a lot more patient with mead making, you know? So I'm like, oh, let it just sit there for a while. Let's see what happens and stuff like that. And, but yeah, that was the only one I've thrown away. All the other ones, good or bad, tasty or not, I've drank. But I've been lucky that I've been able to make some decent meads in my personal opinion, you know.
Right. And yeah, especially being such a new to the game, so to speak. That's crazy. Just jump in all in 3, 4, 5, 6 gallons or batches at a time. Are you a back sweeten person? You ferment to desired sweetness? Do you do both?
Um, I've tried to do both, but I just ferment until it's no more sugars in there, and then I back sweeten later on. Um, and this is what we were talking about before in one of your live chats, actually, your live videos, that uh, the I'm not sure why I should even, well, maybe I should or not, but BJCP says that they want the taste, flavor of the fermented honey. So I tried doing the other one, didn't work out all that great, I don't think. But I do the other method of back sweetening to my taste and to my liking. And I've sent stuff like that to beer cups for mead judging as well. And they've liked them like that. So I'm not sure if there's really a whole lot of difference or does it really matter in terms of that. But personally, I love it when you back sweeten, because I've noticed that it's a lot easier, especially because I don't like using any adjuncts like clarifying agents or anything, that it clarifies a lot faster and easier if you let it go all the way to a neutral, like 1.000 and below, and then back sweeten later, as opposed to stopping it before it actually gets to that point and then letting it clarify. So it's a lot easier that way for me, and that's why I like it. And you have that control. I like controlling that taste. I don't want to end up with something too damn sweet that I can't drink if I have to stop something in the middle, you know?
Yeah, that seems to be the pretty common conception, is that, if there's a lot more control through the back sweetening process than there is, trying to go wild with it and stop it where it needs to stop. And I personally start to think of it more as like more just like and I'm sure it's the wrong term, but like, I want to say technical prowess, but like somebody who just like really wants to like play on hard mode, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm just going to try to do this at the most difficult, the most assists off or whatever, in video game terms or whatever. But, there's obviously award-winning meaderies, and I've had tons of great mead now at this point that have been made both ways. And if you can't tell the difference, then what's it really matter?
Exactly. And honestly, my hat's off to those the people that stop it at a certain point to either be dry still with some sugar or honey in it, and or semi-sweet or sweet. That they've got balls to do that, because you have to then stop fermentation, clear it up if that's important to you, and things like that. And for me, it's been a lot easier to just let it go all the way down, and then working from there. It's to a certain extent, it's like a blank canvas. You just gotta go at it after that, you know?
Right. Yep. And like I said, if it all tastes, good, then so be it. What you got
Exactly.
on over there, Mister?
I got thirsty, so um, I'm drinking a Mamey Mead. I made this a while ago, I think towards the beginning of the year, and it's dry right before turning into semi-sweet, like 10 in density, but it's 14%. And have you ever seen or tried Mamey before? Mamey fruit?
I don't know what Mamey is.
It's it grows in tropical areas, I believe, and it's this. It's this. It's different sizes. It's tiny, or it could be really big, and it's like a darkish bay thing that has a really rough skin around it. And when you cut it up, it has a big seed in the middle that's really dark and black, and it's actually like orange, and it has the texture of like a dense pumpkin, not the flavor, but a dense pumpkin, kind of like butternut squash, how the top portion of it's really dense. It's
Yes.
kind of dense like that, but also at the same time it's soft and silky, and it's damn good. and it's seasonal here. Yes, that. It's yes, exactly that, and it's seasonal here. So when the season came in, I'm like, well, I haven't made one, so I made it, and I like it. It's a pretty good. Yeah.
Nice. Made into milkshakes, ice cream, all sorts of. Hey, that sounds freaking rad. I can be on board with that for sure. I love
Yeah, it's
all.
pretty. I liked it. It's pretty good. Yeah.
I love all fruit related everything, man. That's mellow mellows are my favorite thing. I don't like the overly super fruit bomb ones, but fruit stuff is where it's at. Actually. I'm really becoming a huge fan of sizers and pie mints lately. I don't know why, but man, those are really doing it for me.
That's
But
good. I recently had a payment in that last group meeting that I had, and I forgot what kind of grapes he used. I think he just bought them at the store, but he had it aged for a while, and I think it was like 12%, 12, 13, and it was really good. Probably one of the better payments I've tried.
nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm drinking on a Haggard bottle. It was sitting in my cooler and it got all ripped up because the label got soggy. But it's a bottle of it's called the Birds and the Bees. It's a rose mead made with raspberry blossom honey.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
pick that one up.
I've never had a Romedale before. I had one a little while ago, but it had a bunch of other stuff in it, so it wasn't. I guess I don't know. If you want to be stickler for it, it wasn't a true Romedale, and it's pretty good because it had other stuff in it, like I think I think it had cacao in it and some other stuff, and it was pretty decent. It lacked body for me, but it was pretty good. Yeah.
Gotcha. That sounds. I would think some cacao or something like that would go really well with the rose, and especially in something that's a little on the drier side, to help give it a little more character to it, so to speak. See here. So, do you do any food and mead pairings or anything like that while you're brewing your stuff up?
No, I'm not very good at that. To be honest with you, that's why I enjoy your.
Hold up. You got something right here. I don't want you to go through an interview with something all over your face.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah,
You're
good.
Food pairings. No, I'm horrible at that actually. Um, I'm not good at doing that. Um, a little while ago, I had made a lemon mead, the yellow lemon,
Mm-hmm.
and it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was a bit too tart. I think I added too much of the skin and I had well, not the skin, but the pith, that white stuff underneath it, and it was kind of a little bitter because of that. But I think it was Christmas time, and my mom usually makes like pozole or what have you. And
Mm-hmm.
I figured, why squirt a lime on it or lemon in it? I'll just throw some meat in it and boil it, just to kind of boil out the alcohol, but just have the flavor, and it tasted pretty good. That's the only thing, the only success, and you may have not even liked it or yourself or enjoy it, but I thought it was decent. That's actually why I like your food pairing, because it gives me ideas of that, and there's not a whole lot of people that do that. Um, in fact, there's this account, I haven't seen him post anything for a while on Instagram, that does mead and food pairing. And they constantly are posting. I haven't seen him post much lately for some reason, but they used to post a lot of stuff all the time. And it's pretty cool. I wish I knew more about that.
Yeah.
But there is our next group meeting. Sounds like I'm alcoholic too, but my next group meeting. I forgot when it's going to be, but one of the dudes that's coming, um, he knows a lot of people. He recently, last time we met, he brought a dude that did like a honey tasting, which was really cool. We tried a bunch of different honeys, but he's gonna bring another like a bartender and one that does nothing but food pairings. So
Nice.
we're going to talk and mix things, make a drink, and all that stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish I knew more about food pairings and stuff.
I'm so excited for you, man. That all sounds so much fun and like such a like exciting thing, because like you said, it's all new and it's all happening so fast that like again, kudos to you and your group of friends there, man. So if you were going to travel here to the States, I know you've been here before. I used to live here, correct?
Yes.
What were some meaderies or a meadery that you would want to visit, next time you get to come here, or if you could, just travel to visit, so to speak? Money's no object.
Damn, all of them. If money's no object, every single one, Why skimp out on just one, every single one? Because every single one has, even if it's the same mead, I'm sure it's slightly different in some way,
Right.
And, yeah, I don't have one. If money's no object, every single one.
All of them, dang.
Yeah.
So as a home brewer, is there anybody who you would want to do a collab with as a commercial meadery, either there locally or in the States or something? Somebody like, man, I really like what they're doing. I'd like to work with them on something.
This is silly, and I hate to do this, but maybe Superstition, because of how they age stuff in barrels. I've seen their YouTubes and the stuff that they do, and I think that's pretty cool. And I love aged stuff, whether it's craft beer, whiskey, scotch, whatever. I love barrel aged stuff, and I know they do that. And there's actually a few other, I think, meaderies in, I'm not sure who, but in Europe as well as South America that does that. And there's one in Central America that recently did a fermentation in bamboo trunks. And I thought it was really cool. So maybe them, or really anybody, really. We're doing a collab now, So really anyone that we're willing to work, because I could learn from anyone. You could always gather something from somebody. So I backtrack there, but yeah, really anyone who's willing to, I'm down.
Yeah, Superstition they've got the benefit of having all those years of experience and having some really kick-ass people that have worked there throughout the years. And they've got a ton of room up there for a barrel aging and just a whole barrel program, really. That was one thing that it took me a second to understand when I was first starting this thing. Is like, I wonder why a lot of people don't do a lot of barrel aged meads and stuff, but that is such an investment of everything: time, money, resources in the mead, space, and then trying to keep all that going and make sure it doesn't go sideways on you while it's aging in there and stuff. I'm sure there's not really much you can do in that regard, but just to make sure you don't shake it or spill it or whatever. I mean, it's just a whole lot going on. That's a lot of money in all those, again, things to invest. So now I completely understand why a lot of people don't. And yeah, it'd be wild to go up there and check it out, man. If you ever come into town, or if we ever get to be able to meet up, I'd love to go up there and check that out with you, man.
I'd love to, actually, definitely.
Go nerd.
It'll happen.
Barrel aging program. Hell yeah, it will happen. I like that.
It will happen.
Positivity. I love that positive attitude. Dog or cat person?
Dog.
Dog.
I have 3 dogs, actually.
Yeah, you got a dog that has some bangs over its face.
Yeah, it's Afghan Hound, and I've got a black golden retriever and a mutt. I don't know what it is, what kind of dog it is, but all 3 of them, at some point or another, I guess you could say they were rescued in some way or shape or form. So I have 3 dogs, so I'm definitely a dog person.
Definitely a dog person. See here. Oh, burgers or pizza?
Both?
Is it both? Why make me choose? Put hot dogs or put burgers on my pizza.
There you go.
What about your favorite cereal as a kid growing up?
Oh, damn. Total. I love Total. Yeah, I don't know. I love Total.
All right.
Yeah, the sweet ones, the Fruit Loops, all that stuff, that's great too, but I loved Total.
That was not what you expected a kid to say. I love Total. What's the worst job you've ever had?
Lord, I had a number of jobs, and Maybe the worst one. Um, I used to be a custodian, a janitor, if you want to be a dick about it. I hope you get that reference. Somebody should. But I used to be that, and it paid pretty good. It had benefits, all kinds of stuff that's really good. But just dealing with some of the stuff that came along with it, being a custodian, it sucks. But beyond that, I've been lucky to enjoy all the jobs that I've done.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's yeah. One of my best friends, his grandfather was a custodian at our elementary school, and yeah, I get your reference there. That's
Okay.
oh, let's see here. Do you have a favorite yeast strain that you work with?
No, I don't limit myself in that. I try to use whatever I can just so I can um, know what I can do with it. We're kind of limited as far as me going to a store with what we have for yeast selection.
Mm.
Um, so whatever I can get my hands on, I'll try it at least once. And um, it's kind of a pain in the neck to order stuff online when it comes to that because of customs and things like that. So I don't even bother with it. I just whatever I can see and I want to try, I'll go for it. I look at what it does mainly, and I go from there. What am I making? What does the yeast do? Let's figure out something with it.
Now, do you go to just like home brew stores for that, or do you go to, or let's say home brew, but do you go to like beer brew stores for that? I'm assuming they don't have like any mead specific places, or do you go to like get like wine yeasts as well?
There's really no meat specific anything. It's just brew stores for beer, things like that. And so I get uh, beer yeasts as well as the only one I could really get around here that's for wine is a Red Star. And I guess because of distribution purposes and where, the chain, the ladder that comes down from, that's the only thing that's wine that you can get. Everything else is all ale yeast or, whatever kind of beer, but it's all mainly beer yeast. Um, but yeah, Red Star's probably the only wine one that I've been able to find.
What are the? I wonder if the commercial wineries there in Mexico probably just don't have to deal with the customs as much, or they have workarounds or something. You would think. I mean, because there's no way that they're all just using the same one. I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't think.
Oh, more than likely. It depends of where you're getting it from.
Or,
I guess I could order stuff online, but like, and that's kind of a pain in the neck to me. Plus, it's super expensive. I
right.
mean, just to give you an example, the Red Star yeast, I go to the store and I pay like what, like 30 pesos for it, which is like what, like $1.50 a packet.
Yeah.
And online from somewhere else, that same one could be at least 5 to 10 times more. Um, then if you want to deal with shipping, who knows? Or likewise, if you order stuff from other countries, like any other yeast, it's pretty expensive. So I'm like, screw that. I'll just save me some money. I'll spend that on honey.
Good call. Yeah, especially if you have a decent selection of yeasts available to you commercially, or right there from your brew shops and whatnot. Yeah, there's no reason to dick around with something like that.
Oh yeah, not only that, but it's like I haven't gone through every single yeast that I could find. So the one that place that I go to, like there's a good amount that I haven't tried yet. So like, well, once I go through the whole thing, we'll see what happens next.
Gotcha. Um, have you found a lot of honey varietals down there in Mexico available to you? I mean,
Oh
especially
yeah.
like local varieties and stuff. I was talking to a gentleman down in Australia, Nick from the Bearded Bee Meadery, and he was talking about the apiaries out in the bush can get up to 40 or plus different single varieties. I thought that was just mind-boggling.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because Mexico is probably one of the world's biggest producers of honey and probably the first or second best in the world as
Wow.
far as what I've been told and what I've looked into. And since Australia kind of burned down a bit, I think they were number one. And I'm reiterating some of the stuff that I heard, but we may have jumped a little higher, who knows? But yes, there's a lot of different kinds. And Mexico's actually known for a specific type, which is Melo Bonel, I think. I don't remember, but it's made from bees that don't have any stingers that are indicative to the country only. And it's probably the only place in the world where you can get that type of honey. We also have mesquite, wildflower. The one that I normally use is like a berry honey, where it comes from cranberries, blueberries, blackberries. That's usually the multifloral honey that I use. There's avocado honey. There's uh, coffee honey. I recently, when we had that honey tasting not too long ago, I bought a couple of liters, which is like 4 pounds, a little bit more than 4 pounds of honey, of coffee honey. It comes from the flower, obviously, but I lost the damn freaking liters of honey, but I don't know what I did with it, but it tasted amazing. And I'm assuming this is what it's like, meadowfoam. I've never had it, but I tried another honey and I forgot the name of it, but it tastes like cotton candy, or a type of cotton candy. It was like sweet. It was delicious. I don't think it was meadowfoam, but it was something similar to it, I would think. Um, there's, you know, orange blossom honey, all kinds of different stuff. And a lot of these are in the eastern coast part of it. But that particular kind that's only indicative of Mexico, that's I believe all over the south for the country.
Nice.
Yeah,
Man,
so there's a lot.
yeah, I'm really loving trying all the different types of honey. I'm finding that like up here, like we have like a couple local farmers market. They don't have nearly the varieties that I was expecting them to have. They have like desert blossom honey and all these different things that are just basically different types of wildflower honey. But there's not a whole lot of like I haven't seen avocado blossom honey. I've seen orange blossom honey. I've seen mesquite honey for sure. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of single variety traditionals. I saw one that was like cat's claw honey, and I've never heard of something like that. I don't know if it's something they just made up, or I couldn't find it on any honey charts or anything like that. So, but I'm dying to try as many different honey varieties as possible. That's for sure.
Yeah, so am I. And maybe sometime in the future, that dude that brought that the honey taster guy, he said he was missing like 5 other type of honeys that he couldn't bring. So maybe next time we'll try those other ones.
No kidding, man. Yeah, that sounds freaking awesome. And you said you got somebody coming back to come, or somebody coming in to do like cocktails, and then somebody else coming in to do
like food pairing. Yeah,
the food pairing thing. Yeah, that's how many people are in that group that you guys have?
Well, at least the one that I physically go meet with, there's at least 5-10 people that make mead, and I have a picture of it actually on my Instagram. But there's a number of them, and there's more in the state and in the city that just haven't gone to it for why, I have no clue. But yeah, there's some pretty cool cats in there, and just that camaraderie of talking to people and about it, that know what it is it's uplifting for me,
Very much so, man. I'm definitely on board with all that. So we're coming up here on an hour. You got a couple more minutes, or?
Yeah.
Right on.
Fine. Actually, I wanted to share this other mead. I just poured some. I don't think you saw, but
I didn't.
it's from one of the dudes that I mentioned. I was telling you I was going to tell you about this, but it's one of the guys from that group that's been doing and making mead for over 10 years.
Oh, nice.
He took some trip up north in the north of Europe, a bunch of the Scandinavian countries and stuff, and he spoke to a lot of the elders there, and they imparted a recipe that he uses to make mead, and that's what he sells. And it's a traditional, but he made this one specifically, and actually his name is Uthon, and this one he put ajenjo. Ajenjo is a plant, and ajenjo in English is wormwood, and that's that's the active ingredient in absinthe, and it's so bitter. The IBUs on this thing, if you wanted to measure off the charts,
I say,
and
yeah,
it's
130 plus or some shit.
it's ridiculous, but I love it. I love absinthe and mead with wormwood.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, you know.
dude.
Salute.
Salute. Oh, I'm out.
Oh wait.
Um, yeah, I also love absinthe, man. I used to, when I was a younger man, I had an absinthe of the month subscription. Actually, it was like a biannual thing. It was like 6 bottles for a year. But
Wow.
salute.
Salute.
So I got to try a couple different absinthes from all over the world. So yeah, I share in your love of absinthe as well. That wormwood there, I'm sure makes it a nice. Is it a dry mead or is it?
Yeah, it's a dry mead. You know how when you drink absinthe, it tastes like black licorice, but also has that heaviness from the wormwood when it's actually made with wormwood. Well, it tastes like the plant was fermented with it, as opposed to added after fermentation. And it's just that the bitterness of the plant, and it's damn good. I don't know. It just smacked me across the face across my palate, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I like it." You know?
Yeah, I would love to try some of that. That sounds amazing. And is that one he makes on a regular basis?
I don't think from what he mentioned, he said he only did it a few times, but he's got a bunch of it still left, so it's aged for at least 3 years. So, or if not, maybe more. I don't know, but it's pretty damn good. It's very smooth. Wormwood just hits you upside the head. Pretty good.
Nice, man. That's freaking awesome. So is there anything you wanted to say to any of the other viewers, or anything you wanted to parting words of wisdom, or any exiting statements or anything like that?
You know what? You mentioned, I should think of something that I wanted to talk to you about and stuff, and I
Oh,
was racking my brain, and honestly, I don't know, because what brought us together is mead. So we've been talking about that for a while. I'm pretty happy about that. The only thing I do want to say more than anything is everybody should treat each other the way that they want to be treated, and that doesn't just go on a day-to-day basis, but also about how you make mead, um, uh, the relationships between people and that kind of industry as far as mead making and everything. Maybe we should just care about each other and treat each other right. And beyond that, I've enjoyed this. Actually, I thought about this. I thought it was kind of dirty and silly, and I wanted to ask you. I wasn't going to do it, but F it, I'm going to do it.
hell yeah, I love it.
Let me explain it, because when we're children, we don't have a choice about what we wear, and until we have a decision, we get to choose that. And when I was a child, all I would wear is tidy whities. After I chose, I would wear boxers.
Yeah.
And recently, within the last week or two, maybe longer, I switched to boxer briefs. And incredible. So my question to you is this: are you a boxer briefs or boxers?
I
Or
boxer briefs all the way, and actually just recently switched over to. I had to go with kind of like the higher end ones that have like the ultra breathability and everything, because I work outside. My like regular 9 to 5 is outside, so I'm running around here in the sun in Phoenix. It's 150 degrees outside and everything. It's ruthless out there, and anything that's like low grade just doesn't. I'm not trying to end up with like cherry thighs at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
I totally understand.
And so I had to pony up and actually bite the bullet and buy some of the more expensive ones. But yeah, definitely boxer briefs all the way. And I agree, man. I remember when I was a kid, I was growing up, had the tidy white. I begged for my parents to buy me. We had these things called underoos. They had like Transformers or Ninja Turtles or something. They were like specific brand of underwear that had like, man, those were the coolest things. But yeah, once I got to choose, it went straight into either boxers or boxer briefs. 100%.
That's cool, man. I'm glad I asked then.
Yeah,
I've been telling my chick this, I'm like, hey, I switched over. It's like, well, what are you gonna do with your boxers? I'm like, I don't want them anymore. It's like, what are you talking about? You're nuts. I'm like, you don't understand. It's a big decision, and I've made that change, and I can't go back. You
No,
know,
exactly.
it's silly, but best thing I've done lately as far as those kind of decisions.
Dude, and I don't. My wife sent me a couple of links to these particular brands that have like a separation pocket and everything, where everything goes in its own little area, and it's like I might be giving that a shot. It seems like it might be a little bit more comfortable the next step and everything. But no, definitely, if your underwear game is, I'm a firm believer. If you're having a bad underwear day, like you could be having a great day on paper, but if you're having a bad underwear day, it doesn't matter. You could have just won the lottery. It's like, fuck you, I don't care. My chonies are fucked up. It is fucked.
Yes, exactly. I totally get that, and that's what caused that change, I was like, I'll give it a shot. Let's see what happens. And
Definitely.
actually, I have one more question for you.
Yeah, no,
Maybe more
please.
if I remember, I don't know. But you mentioned that you've been wanting to brew. Man, jump into it. If you wanted to start making something to get your feet wet, even if it's a quart or a gallon, whatever the case is, what would you do? I know you've mentioned before traditional because it's one of the hardest, in my opinion, to do correctly. Besides that, what would you do?
I would actually, my wife and I were just talking about this, want to do something starting local. Like my dream mead would be to do something like a lychee mead or something, but realistically, oh, nice. Um, Realistically, I'd love to work with prickly pears. I love prickly pear candies. I love everything that I've had that's prickly pear, and had a few meads here from some of the local guys, and they're all usually pretty good. I had one that was a prickly pear sour. I didn't really care for that one, to be honest with you. That one was a bit just not for me. I
Do you,
didn't.
do you know why it made it sour? Was it like bacterias or ingredient? What was it?
Mm, it was a carbonated mead, so I don't know. No, I don't. It was at the very starting of my mead journey. It was actually about, it was over a year ago at this point, because I think it was there back in like last May. And this guy specifically asked me to not talk about his meadery. He was kind of very stern and didn't really want nothing to do with it. So I'm just talking like, I just want to like
I
review
understand.
some of your stuff, and it was a whole thing. But so I don't know. Looking back on it, I don't think it was a flaw or anything like that. I think it was a combination of, it was dry and just carbonated dry mead, and I hadn't really experienced anything like that, so I didn't really know what to expect, and it really caught me off guard.
Okay.
But I would love to do a prickly pear mead. I would probably do it in a semi-sweet fashion. And actually, to be honest with you, the biggest reason that I haven't done anything yet, I don't have the best temperature control. Our air conditioning here is shoddy at best, and it's more of a, not a like a fear of failing or anything like that. It's more of a not wanting to disrespect the ingredients and my time and my money and everything like that. You spend, you know how long it takes. I've
Yeah.
been to a couple different places that have and helped them brew, or did some videos with them and whatnot, and I see all the time and energy that everybody puts into it, and to throw that away on that big of a gamble. I mean, it's already enough of a gamble as it is, but to just increase the odds that much, I can't in my right mind do something like that. But
I
trust me,
completely understand that. Yeah.
at this point, I am absolutely dying to at least start a home brew of my own, and my wife's fully supportive of that in small capacity. So
Right.
I
That's cool. Part of the reason why I was thinking of asking you that is because I've been wanting to do this. I haven't done it, but I am going to, is using the CO2 that comes out of the fermentation vessel as an adjunct to like plants.
oh,
And so just to kind of give it a pep and stuff, because obviously plants breathe in CO2. It's what powers them, and it's supposed to like oxygen, even though they do get oxygen and need it too from water. But I saw in one of your videos or live streams where you had some plants in the background and a shelf on there. I'm like,
yeah.
man, a little cord or something would go right next to those plants, and those plants would be amazing. It would feel a lot better because of the CO2. But
Oh yeah.
um, yeah, so I thought I mentioned that too. But in fact, I'm glad you brought up the lychee thing, because I think a week or two ago I went to the corner market and they had a bunch of lychee, and I'm like, wait a minute, is this lychee? And it's like, yeah, it is. I've never really had it before, but I found it interesting, and I've always seen it, things with it, and
Yeah.
drank waters with it. So I bought like a few pounds, and I'll make some. I'll save you a bottle.
Oh,
So
oh man, that'd be awesome.
yeah.
Have fun holding those. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna try, but who knows,
Now, there's another fruit that looks very similar and I think tastes a little, again, similar, but I think it's pronounced a rumbaton or rumbaton, something like that. But it's got a giant seed like that Mima fruit
Mm-hmm.
That you were showing me, but it's got a giant seed in the middle. It's about the same size as a lychee though, and it's really hard to get off that pit. It's like you know how there's the different two types of peaches. You got the cling peaches and the free peaches. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a cling peach. So all the meat sticks to the seed, and it's really messy and everything. But the flavor is really good. But I'm a huge fan of lychees. They're amazing. When I lived up in Washington, my dad would bring some home. He drove container trucks and would pick them up down at like the pier and stuff and go deliver them to the markets, and would bring some home. And man, they were phenomenal. I remember getting them fresh as a kid. It was awesome.
Wow. Yeah. That actually reminds me of here in Mexico. There's a lot of people that sell stuff on the street that drive by either things, I don't know, a whole lot of things, fruits, cheeses,
Yeah.
all kinds. But there's this gentleman that drives by all the time, and he sells dragon fruit, and it's pretty damn cool because he goes by here all the time. And I haven't asked them, but I want to get that yellow dragon fruit instead of the red one, so I can make a meat out of that. Because I've never had it, but I've been told it's a lot sweeter than the other one, the
Yeah.
red one, and it tastes better. So I'm gonna look for that and see what happens.
Nice. Yeah, I've never even seen a yellow dragon fruit. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I thought so too. I was like, oh, well, okay. So we'll see. I have to stop him the next time and see if he can get into that yellow one, because all he has is the red one.
And so the red ones are red or reddish pinkish on the outside, and then like white with the black seeds as the yellow ones.
Exactly. The yellow one's the same. It's got white with little specks inside, but it's yellow on the outside. And it's not because the red one over ripens or anything. It's just yellow.
It's a different.
So exactly.
Cat, hush up. Cats are going crazy over there, man.
Yeah.
I am having to run up against dinner time here, so I'm gonna have to let you go, my man. But it's been
No problem.
pleasure talking to you. So everybody,
Likewise.
Please go follow Muzen Kab Meadery on Instagram, and you're on Facebook too, right?
I'm only on Instagram. I'm not anywhere else.
Oh, only
I meant it. I can't stand social media. It's so I'm only on Instagram.
Go follow him on Instagram for some a look into his world. He's done a carrot mead, and like you say, he's got some lychees going on. So the dude is putting out some really cool stuff. And so like I said, go give him a follow if that's your thing, and you will not be disappointed. I guarantee that.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a pleasure, man. Honestly, I enjoyed this. Any other time, and I meant it. I'll save you a bottle or two of this. So.
Oh, dude, I would love that, and I even probably reach out to you here again, see if we can't set up something to do this on like a regular basis, or do another type of show or something, because I love the dynamic. I think this is really fun.
Thank you. Likewise.
Awesome.
Enjoy your dinner, brother.
Take it easy, my man. Everybody, have a good night. Peace.
Good night. Bye.